Chapter 1 Introductory. This amazing, almost a fairy tale story took place on the very edge of the earth in Lapland, where in summer the sun hangs in the sky all day and night, and in winter it is not visible at all, where the northern lights paint the sky with marvelous colors. Old Niels rode in a sleigh through a snow-covered forest. His granddaughter Anna was sitting next to him. Niels was a shaman. He knew what was, what is, and what will be. He knew everything about our world, or almost everything, and therefore, just in case, he took his granddaughter to school every day. Old Niels believed that at school she would learn the things that the shaman himself did not know. And now they were returning home after school. The road was very long. The white deer were slowly pulling the sleigh. In order not to fall asleep on the road, and so that Anna would not be bored, every time Niels sang his song Joik, or tell some entertaining story. But this time Anna herself asked him a question. "Grandfather, can you tell me again about the Chinese princess and the adventures of her beloved panda? Did it really happen here in Lapland?" "Yes, there was such a story. Let's make a halt. I will light a fire and make us tea to warm up, and then I will tell you this story." Chapter 2 Niels' story about Princess Yunxing and the Lee brothers. Far away, in one beautiful country, from where the sun comes to us, lived an emperor. He was very wise, and his palace was very beautiful. The emperor had a daughter. Her name was Princess Yunxing. Yunxing has been an unusually brave girl since childhood. She was engaged in martial arts. Along with young men, she fought them for fun and often won. Yunxing did not like to wear expensive and bulky outfits that made it uncomfortable for her to move. She asked her father for permission to wear simple clothes that were easy to train in. The boys often laughed at Yunxing. They said, "How a girl could compete with us in strength and agility." Among the boys there were the Lee brothers, senior and junior. They studied at school. Their parents were peasants. They worked from dawn till dusk, but still they were paid a very little salary. So the family lived in poverty. Once their father fell completely ill. He could no longer work. That time was very difficult for them. The Lee brothers and their mother had no money to buy food. So that the children would not die of hunger, the sons were taken far away from the village to the city. There they were left at the gates of an orphanage. Poor families often did so to save their children. At the orphanage, children had to do a lot of work and perform various obediences. They were fed once a day for this work. They were given a handful of rice. The Lee brothers worked in the imperial garden. They carried barrels of water to water flowers, mowed lawns, and swept dry leaves. After work, the children were taught various martial arts. The most capable were trained for the imperial army. As the time passed, the brothers grew up. They trained a lot, practiced different techniques 1,000 times, and gained the knowledge of martial arts. The brothers dreamed of becoming warriors in the army of the emperor. When the Lee brothers grew up, they turned out to be excellent fighters, so they were entrusted to protect the Chinese emperor himself. The brothers were very happy. Chapter 3 Panda Tao. Princess Yunxing had no sisters or brothers, but she had one and only beloved friend, a panda named Tao. Their fortunate meeting happened by chance. One day, while walking with her servants in the forest, Yunxing saw a helpless little bamboo bear on the ground. Apparently, the panda got lost, latched behind its mother bear. Yunxing immediately wanted the foundling to be taken to the palace, warmed and fed. The princess named her Tao. She loved her little panda very much. A few years later, a clumsy baby bear turned into a very beautiful adult bear. For the Chinese people, panda is a great heritage and a national pride. After all, they are not found anywhere else on earth. In wild nature, they are born and live only in China. From the very first days, the father of the princess gave an order to the chief of security to assign the best fighters to guide the chambers of Panda Tower day and night. The best cook of the palace and the doctor should have taken good care of Panda's health. They made sure that there was always fresh bamboo on her table, because she usually ate only bamboo, nothing else. In the mountainous regions, specially trained people searched for the greenest and the juiciest bamboo and brought it to the palace. Panda Tao became the best friend for the princess. When the princess was in the palace, they played, laughed, chatted all the time. But when the princess had to go to do her royal tasks or to go to the training school, Tao felt bored, started to get moody, insisted on entertainment. The most important demand was bamboo. Yes, fresh bamboo should lie everywhere, so that she could always reach the branch with her paw without. Panda Tao became the best friend for the princess. When the princess was in the palace, they played, laughed, chatted all the time. But when the princess had to do her royal tasks or to go to the training school, Tao felt bored, started to get moody, insisted on entertainment. The most important demand was bamboo. Yes, fresh bamboo should lie everywhere, so that she could always reach the branch with her paw without getting off the couch. This time, Panda was lying on her couch, covered with the finest silk. She woke up 5 minutes earlier than usual today, and the servants and guards who served and guarded Tao's bedroom rushed to open the curtains to fill the room with sunlight. Panda yawned and instantly stretched her paw to the side where a bunch of bamboo usually lay. Finding nothing under her paw, Tao sat down on the couch and immediately burst into tears. "Bamboo! Where is my bamboo?" The servants were alarmed. "Oh no! Now the princess will beat us all. She will start complaining and blaming us." "Bamboo!" the heralds shouted. "Bamboo!" echoed through the palace. Oh, bamboo, bamboo!" sobbed Tao. Chapter 4. Tao's Breakfast. The Chinese princess was already finishing her morning training in the palace garden when she heard crying and noise that came from the open window of Panda's bedroom. Yunxing rushed into the hall to calm her beloved Tao. "My fluff, my snowflake, please don't cry. Who hurt you?" Tao waved her paw and pointed to all the numerous servants, including the guards. "All of them?" the princess asked. "Yes, all of them," Panda answered. "And the guards too?" "Yes, they just stood by and guarded instead of bringing me bamboo." And Panda burst into tears. Okay, my little one," said the princess, wiping Panda's tears. "Calm down, I'll punish them." "Yes, punish them, but let the servants cheer me up first. They should show me a performance, and then punish them. Fire the guards. They stood and guarded, and they didn't bring me a bamboo." Panda Tao was about to cry again, but the princess has given an order to the servants. "Fast, urgent, Let's start the show for our precious panda. The show starts. The sound echoed throughout the palace. The servants ran in, and since Panda had thrown such tantrums for any reason almost every day, everyone was ready in advance. All the servants abandoned their work in the palace and ran into the hall. It should be noted that the servants did not like this, and some secretly even hated Tao for her fretful nature. But everyone was silent, following the orders of the princess and her father, the emperor. Chapter 5. The performance in the palace. Panda Tao was seated among silk pillows. A tray with bamboo sprouts was pushed under her paw. Our dear Panda, in your honor we have prepared this performance, so let's get started. In the beginning, musicians performed one after another in front of Panda. Then an Indian yogi swallowed swords. Then magicians flew on a magic carpet. Clowns let out tears from their eyes. Acrobats, rope walkers showed a dangerous performance. Then, from behind the velvet dividers, came out dancers, dressed in silk dresses. They danced with large Chinese fans for Panda. Then men came out and showed a performance with the traditional Chinese weapon guandao. And now the best warriors of the emperor's army, the Li brothers, will show their fighting techniques, the princess announced. The Li brothers showed a very difficult and beautiful fight. All the spectators watched them holding their breath. Panda Tao even stopped chewing. She liked this fight so much. And at the end of our concert, I would like to ask our beloved precious panda to sing everyone's favorite song about bamboo, the princess announced. Sing the song, the servants shouted and clapped their hands loudly. Panda Tao looked around the room proudly and answered, "Okay, you persuaded me. Now I'll chew this branch and I'll sing to you if you ask." "Please, please," the servants began to chant and applaud Tao all together. Panda Tao went to the very middle, nodded to musicians, "You can start," and sang. Every day at dawn, an armful of bamboo a servant brings me to my bedroom. I will not exchange bamboo for gold and pearls. I won't change it for anything. I won't change it for anything. Bamboo, bamboo, bamboo. Bamboo can be chewed in a shady corner in the yard, and then you can sleep on the silky soft grass. Bamboo can be eaten in a hammock. A servant will rock me. You can sleep on a tree and then start it all over again. So bring me bamboo, faster, bring me bamboo. For breakfast and dinner I need fresh bamboo. Bring me bamboo, 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 sang the imperial choir. After Panda finished singing, the audience burst into applause. "Bravo, bravo," the audience shouted. Tao cheered up. Her tears dried up. She yawned sweetly and said, "I got tired of your concert. Princess, tell them to take me to the garden. I would like to rest a little. I want to sleep where peonies grow. I love the smell of peonies." The princess replied, "Yes, dear Tao, I tell the servants to carry you there. Yes, and don't forget to fire the guards. They are so stupid." "I'll fire the guards. Don't worry, my dear. Let's replace them with smarter workers. What about the Li brothers? Did you like their fight?" "Who? These?" Tao looked towards the brothers, yawning. "The Li brothers are among the best warriors in the imperial army," said Princess Yunxing, and happily announced, "Now you will guard our national treasure." That's just what we lacked. The brothers looked at each other. All this time, the Lee brothers stood and listened attentively to the conversation between the princess and Panda Tao. "But allow me to say something, Your Majesty. We are the warriors of the Emperor's army. We don't—" The older brother didn't have time to finish. "We don't," repeated the younger, as the Emperor himself entered the hall. "I hear that someone dared to oppose the princess's order. I order you to begin the task of protecting our national treasure, the great Panda Tao. That's an order. Is everything clear? Any questions?" "No questions. Start serving immediately," the Emperor said. "Go check the peony garden," the princess said. "Is everything all right there? Take care of Tao's safety. Servants will soon take her there on a palanquin." The Lee brothers nodded obediently and left the hall. So the Lee brothers started a new job. They became Panda's guards. In the yard, staring at each other and horrified, they whispered, "Oh no, that is so unfair. We are two brothers, two fighters of the royal palace. We are ready to fight with an angry crowd. Since childhood, we were taught to fight, not to give up, not to be afraid, to be strong, to train, to resist difficulties. And we were finally taken to work in the palace. We were given a mission to guide neither the throne nor the building. Protect the branched bough on which there is Panda Tao, who eats bamboo and sleeps all day, Mrs. Laziness. A very strange girl, an expert in sleeping and whimpering." "We don't like that," grumbled the older brother. "We don't like that," the younger repeated after him. Day after day, the Lee brothers stood at the entrance to Tao's bedroom, helping her to get up and down the tree, driving away flies and various insects from her. The brothers didn't like it at all. Instead of training, they now constantly rocked a hammock in the garden in which Panda was sleeping. The princess, leaving for training to the wrestling school, ordered the brothers to keep an eye on her pet, help and protect Panda from worries and troubles. The brothers gritted their teeth in anger. They were jealous of the Princess Yunxing because she was training every day, and they could leave their post more and more rarely. So they completely stopped training, and their muscles became flabby. The older brother's tummy even began to grow. It seemed unfair to them. The brothers hated Panda along with the princess for this injustice. Chapter 6. Traveling Circus. One day, the Lee brothers were going to their work to the palace. In the center of the city, on the market square, they heard the noise of the crowd. The hurdy-gurdy was playing, the heralds were shouting from all sides. Only here, only today, the only show, wild animal trainer, Maestro Giuseppe and his animals, saber-toothed tigers, huge pythons, a singing toad, jumping over the fire, and much, much more. Come closer, buy tickets, we are starting very soon. The brothers came closer to the tent, which was set up in the middle of the square. A great number of cages lined the wall. Miserable animals were sitting in them. The cages were narrow and dirty. There were bears, tigers, hares, parrots, and snakes. Very thin, scared, and tired. Some of them were even exhausted. A fat man in striped trousers, a velvet jacket, and a high top hat was walking back and forth along the cages. He held a whip in his hands, and from time to time he whipped it on the ground, saying in a threatening voice, Don't you even try to perform badly today. I'll deal with each one of you separately. If you make a mistake or if you don't jump through the fire hoop." The animal trainer angrily flashed his eyes in the direction of the bears. "You will be starving for a month." "Oh no!" the Lee brothers exclaimed with one voice. "These animals also work for little amount of food, just like you and me, and the nasty panda Tao does not even imagine what is happening behind the walls of the palace. If only I could drag her here, leave her here for a couple of days to cool her down so that she could see how other animals live and stop being demanding." "Panda? Did you say panda?" Suddenly the voice of the trainer growled from behind the brothers. Giuseppe walked around the brothers, and right in front of their faces appeared a red, like a tomato, mustachioed muzzle with bushy eyebrows. In a rough, disgusting voice, the trainer continued, "Did I hear you right? Did you say panda? I have traveled half the world, came to this country to purchase a panda in my collection of animals. But this turned out to be impossible. Panda, as you see, is the national treasure. Oh, but how affecting it could look jumping through a burning hoop. I would not spare a bag of money to find such a beauty." "A bag of money?" the younger said dreamily, and closing his eyes imagined this bag in his hands. What if you think carefully, you might be able to organize such an event," said the older brother, opening his eyes. "We will try," said the younger brother. "Where can we find you, Maestro Giuseppe?" "Here is a map. Take it. On this map there is the road along which my traveling circus will move. One day, one point on the map. I see you guys are smart, so you will calculate where I will tour, and where you could receive a bag of money in exchange for a cute, fluffy little animal." And Giuseppe handed the brothers a paper scroll with the map of the circus tour. "And now back to work," the trainer yelled, moving towards the cages, spitting and beating the ground with his whip. "Wow, a bag of money!" the brothers exclaimed. "Let's go. It's time for us to return to the palace. Let's think over this proposal." The brothers came back to the palace and started to do their job of protecting Panda. From day to day, they heard from Tao grumbling, complaints, scolding, and uncontrollable sobs. One of their duties was wiping her tears and her eternally squelching nose with a handkerchief. The payment for their thoroughness and patience was food. It was just a handful of rice a day. "I can't stand her any more," the older brother mumbled, getting ready to go to work in the morning. "Heavenly powers, do something. I can no longer wipe the nose of this cranky panda. I want to join the army. I want to fight. I want to fight," the younger brother prayed before going to sleep. The thoughts of the untold wealth did not leave them for even a minute, especially at night. When they were sleeping, they dreamed of sacks stuffed tightly with money. Chapter 7. Tao goes on a journey. Once Tao said that she was tired of boring things. Every day was the same as before. The walls of the palace were the same, and she wanted to go on a journey to a distant land, for example, to the faraway kingdom or even further. One of the servants told her that some Chinese pandas have been traveling all over the world for a long time. They were gladly received in different countries as ambassadors of goodwill. Princess Yunxing had noticed that Tao was always naughty or sad, and that she no longer had enough entertainment in the palace. Tao's character was becoming more unbearable day by day. Something had to be done. And so the princess talked to her father, the emperor, and made a decision. One fine day, a general meeting was announced in the palace. "Everyone, everyone, everyone," shouted the heralds. "Everyone gather in the main hall. The emperor and Princess Yunxing have prepared an important message." Yunxing came to the center of the hall and read out the order to everyone present. "It's no secret that we, the Chinese people, led by the great emperor, have been on friendly terms with a very distant small northern country called Suomi for many years. This year, Suomi is celebrating its 100th anniversary. In honor of this grand event, we are sending a delegation to confirm the friendship between our peoples, and our Panda Tao would be a good will ambassador." "What? Does Panda Tao leave the palace? Really? For how long? Is she leaving us forever?" Hustle and bustle started. Some servants were so happy about this news that even applauded. They were interrupting each other happily and congratulating the princess for her wise decision. During the princess's speech, Tao was sitting on the cushions and chewing bamboo. Yum yum. Sometimes she smiled and waved the green bamboo branches to everyone in the hall in greeting. "But I want to make sure Tao is safe on this journey," Princess Yunxing continued. "Panda Tao goes on a long and dangerous journey from sunny China to the snowy lands of beautiful Suomi. I have decided that 2 brave warriors would accompany my beautiful panda. Since childhood, they have known the concepts of respect and sacred duty, courage and strength. These are the Li brothers." The Li brothers, guarding Panda, hesitated in surprise, but then the older brother exclaimed, "Oh, great princess, we are warriors, not babysitters. Our purpose of life is to serve your father, the great emperor. We were born to defend China from enemies. This is our duty. We don't want to look after Panda." "Stop it. Be quiet. This is my order." Yunxing got angry. "I know better what your duty is. You serve my father, and that means you serve me. Do you doubt my wisdom? Perhaps you doubt my father's decision as well?" The younger brother realized that he and his brother would not be able to refuse the trip, and said in a trembling voice, "Our great princess, our duty is to serve you and your father, the great emperor. We will be honored to guard Panda Tao on her journey. We won't take our eyes off your precious panda, or our name isn't the Li brothers. All our lives we have served your father. We have never given a reason to doubt our loyalty and courage." Princess Yunxing calmed down a little bit and continued, "On behalf of the entire Chinese people, I bless you on this difficult journey. Let it be so. And now I need a little more time to say goodbye to my beloved Panda Tao. Get ready, it will be a long trip. And if anything bad happens to her, you will be punished." "Oh, great princess, don't worry. Everything will be fine," said the older brother. "Everything will be fine," repeated the younger. The brothers obediently bowed to the princess and left the hall. All the servants continued to celebrate, singing and dancing. Chapter 8. The Great Kidnapping Plan. The brothers obediently bowed to the princess and left the hall. "Oh no," the elder brother said sadly. "Oh no," said the younger. "Yun-Sing spoke to us so seriously, and she clearly warned us that if something bad happens to this lazy panda, we would be exhausted. That's it. Do you understand that all the problems are because of this lazy girl? Blah blah blah, my favorite Tao, my best panda. That is disgusting. I agree with you, but perhaps panda really brings something good to the world. Oh, don't be so soft-hearted. Don't you believe in all this nonsense? The only thing that she can bring is a lot of money, a money bag. Now we need to think how to do it." Until the very night, the Lee brothers were sitting in their old hut in silence and thinking, each one on his own. Sometimes the younger asked the older, "What are we going to do now, brother? I didn't expect this news." "We need to prepare a plan how to steal Panda as quickly as possible," answered the older. "Steal her and sell to a traveling circus, to the evil trainer Giuseppe. He would have made her a star. He had noticed this cutie a long time ago. We'll show this bad apple that she doesn't belong in our palace. Enough of her hanging on a branch. Let her work in a cage now. We won't have to work, brother, for a handful of rice and a couple of yuan. We will have money, big money. Coins will pour in our pockets like a river. How tired we are of her, a harmful, nasty girl. All the time she just eats and sleeps, and everyone is tired of her. We will show this bad apple that there is no place for her in our palace. Enough of her hanging on a branch. Let her work in a cage now." The whole night the brothers thought about how to get rid of the hated panda and get rich at the same time. In the morning, the older brother finally exclaimed, "I have a great plan." "What plan?" The younger brother was surprised. "Steal it during the trip." Chapter 9. Meeting at the airport. Saying goodbye to Panda Tao, the princess put a red silk scarf around her neck. "Take this as a memory of me." They hugged goodbye and burst into tears. Old Niels threw dry branches into the fire and poured himself and his granddaughter hot tea with berries into camping mugs and thought about something. Anna drank a tasty berry drink. "Grandpa, what happened next?" Shaman Niels continued his story. "I'll tell you, my dear." Panda Tao, together with the brothers, was put on a plane, and after a long flight, they landed at the airport of our country. And of course, before the trip, 100 kilograms of bamboo were loaded onto the plane. The inhabitants of Suomi were very happy when they learned about the arrival of Tao. People had never seen such an unusual animal. They were very proud that the Chinese emperor has sent a panda to their small northern country as an ambassador of goodwill. Everybody came to meet the dear guest at the airport. Children, reporters, the Chinese ambassador, and even ministers waved bunches of flowers. The flags of both countries fluttered everywhere, and the orchestra played the hymns. Panda Tao loved being a goodwill ambassador. She smiled kindly at everyone, took pictures with children with pleasure, waved a small bunch of bamboo branches in greeting. She looked great in a red silk scarf. From the airport, a large group of cars drove towards the hotel. The motorcyclists went first. The panda Tao followed them in a spacious car. She was guarded by the Lee brothers. The car was followed by a cortege of embassy and police cars, and the last one was a truck loaded with bamboo. Many times Tao came out of the car to greet the locals. They stood along the road and waved the flags with the picture of panda. So Tao arrived at a hotel especially built for her on the territory of the Achteri Zoo. Chapter 10. Achteri Zoo. Panda Tao was warmly welcomed by the zoo workers. Everything in the hotel was arranged for her comfortable stay. A cozy bedroom, a luxurious living room, spacious halls for presentations. She could rest, meet with delegations, receive guests from all over the country every day. The playground had fountains, swings, merry-go-rounds, and even a real snow slide, which brought Tao to full delight. The Lee brothers were accommodated side by side in a spacious room with all amenities. They have never lived in such luxurious conditions. That same evening, before going to bed, the brothers declared that they needed to start the kidnapping as soon as possible. They took out a map that animal trainer Giuseppe had once given them. They looked carefully at the map, counted the days, and according to their calculation, it turned out that a traveling circus was touring nearby in a neighboring country. It's so lucky that we are here. Now is the time to steal the panda and arrange an escape from the Achteri Zoo as soon as possible. The brothers, falling asleep, imagined sacks in front of them, many sacks stuffed with gold coins. Soon, very soon, we will be lords, and we will begin a new rich life very soon. Chapter 11. Tao meets Mishutka. Waking up early in the morning, Panda Tao ate bamboo leaves for breakfast. Zookeepers carefully brought them to her bedroom. Tao looked in the mirror. Oh, I'm so beautiful. I am a goodwill ambassador. I need to look great. Where is my red scarf? This way I am even more beautiful. Tao smiled, admiring her reflection. I'm going to take a walk and see what is going in the area before those nasty Lee brothers wake up and start guarding me. Tao went out into her wonderful garden. Bamboo baskets were placed on benches, on swings, on carousels, and even on the snowy slide. She cheerfully slid down the slide, then climbed on a swing and was about to give the order, "Servants, I want you to rock me," but remembered that she was now not in the palace of the Chinese princess, but in a completely different country, and now she had no one to order. Tao tried several times to push off the ground with her feet, but she did not succeed. The swing did not move at all. "Should I swing you?" She suddenly heard a voice nearby. "Who is there?" Panda was surprised. "Who are you? Where are you?" "I'm here," and a small baby bear came out on the grass in front of the swing. "Hello, I'm Mishka Brown. If you want, you can call me Mishutka. I'm your neighbor. I live in the next enclosure. I work at the zoo as a brown bear. Let's get acquainted." "Oh, how brown you are! I have never seen such animals." Panda giggled. "And I'm Tao, Panda Tao, a national treasure of China and a favorite pet of the Chinese princess. and I'm also a goodwill ambassador." Mishutka became embarrassed, lowered his head modestly, and said, "I have never met a royalty like you. Yesterday I saw how many escorts were next to you." Tao raised her eyes and said in a plaintive tone, "Yes, these important people. Yesterday I was tired of them, saying, 'Panda, panda.' I didn't even have time to sleep and eat bamboo. All the time I had to say something to these nasty reporters and smile. I am very tired of them." Mishutka took a step back and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to disturb you. I will leave right now." "No, no, I don't have any friends in this country yet, and I am very glad that you came." Panda shook hands with Mishutka and handed him a bunch of bamboo branches. "Come on, eat up." "What is this?" Mishutka was surprised. "This is the very best thing that can be in this life. It's bamboo." And Tao began to chew a bamboo branch with an appetite. "Yum, yum." Mishutka twisted the bunch in his paw and also bit it once. Bamboo seemed too dry and not sweet to him. "Maybe I bring some honey. I think it is better to eat bamboo with honey. What do you like more, raspberries or blueberries? Or should I bring both?" Panda looked at Mishutka in surprise and mumbled, chewing the branches, "I have never eaten raspberries. Are they crunchy? Hrum hrum. Is it hard when you eat?" "No," Mishutka answered. "Raspberries are very soft. They are crimson." "No, thanks. I don't eat that. Soft and crimson in color. It's not for me." "Do blueberries make hrum hrum sound?" Tao asked. "No, they are also soft and dark blue, almost black, but delicious. Then in the evening, after work, I will bring you honey, and you can try to dip the bamboo into honey. You will crunch sweetly. Hrum hrum." "And you, Mishutka, will you eat bamboo with honey in the evening with me?" "I will. With honey for sure. Hrum hrum." Panda and Mishutka laughed. "Okay, I have to go to work. Today the hockey team will arrive at the zoo. They are named Karhu after me. I have a press conference and a photo session with them, but I'll be back tonight. Have a good day." Panda Tao waved her hand to Mishutka and went to her bedroom to rest and sleep a little. Tomorrow she will start her duties, and she will also meet delegations and take pictures with kids, and today only rest and sleep. Chapter 12. The kidnapping happened. Saying goodbye to Mishutka, Panda Tao went to her bedroom and lay down on her soft couch. Before falling asleep, she thought, "Wow, Suomi is a very friendly country. I have already found a friend on the first day. Interesting, how many of them will I have tomorrow?" So Panda spent the whole day resting, waking up for a lunch break, then going back to sleep. She was waiting for the evening when Mishutka would return from work and bring her honey and raspberries and blueberries for himself. You need to get enough sleep during the day to have fun all night and celebrate the meeting of a new friend. The brothers, meanwhile, were in their room watching Tao one by one. They've already checked all the entrances and exits in the zoo. The younger brother walked around the zoo and brought a huge canvas bag. "Where did you get it?" The older brother was surprised. "They brought hay for the animals in sacks. I untied one and threw hay to the goats." and took the sack. "The rope is strong here," the younger replied proudly. "Is she sleeping?" "Yes, already snoring, and she have had dinner recently, so she is happy and satisfied. Now it's getting dark, and it's time to put our plan into action. The main thing is to act quickly and cleanly. Give me the bag." "Here. Do you think she'll fit into it?" "She'll fit in. She will have to. What if she suddenly wakes up? Let's say that we have put her in a hammock and swing it." "Shh, you'll wake her up. Let's go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The brothers quietly approached the sleeping panda, put the sack over her head, then gently pushed the whole panda into the sack and carried Tao out of the enclosure. The bag was heavy, but the brothers moved very quickly to the exit of the park. Rare-belated visitors came across them. Mishutka Brown, returning from work, also met these two men, stopped a little surprised of the bag they were dragging. "Hey," the younger brother said, "we are carrying it to the camels." "Ah," Mishutka smiled, "it's necessary. What hard-working brothers. They just arrived and haven't had a proper rest, but they are already working, delivering hay to the animals." "Okay, I need to go home faster. Panda Tao is already waiting for me probably," Mishutka said to himself and walked quicker. The Lee brothers, meanwhile, left through the gate and turned towards the forest. "We need to get away from this place quickly, before anyone catches us. We don't have much time, only this night. Tomorrow morning, children from local school will come to her, and then the loss will be discovered. Let's go as far as possible, and then, when we are tired, we will make a camp. The main thing is that she does not wake up. Have you looked at the map? Where exactly is the traveling circus now?" "Yes, it's not far. It seems to be in a neighboring country. In a couple of days, we will reach the border. There, we will secretly transport the cargo, and in a couple of days, we will reach the place where the trainer Giuseppe is now performing with his traveling circus. Can we wait for them here? When will they arrive here? They won't come here themselves. In this country, they don't allow circuses with trained animals." "Oh," came from the bag. Tao woke up. "Where am I? Why is it dark? Oh, oh!" The younger brother chuckled angrily. "Ha ha, and now your new life has begun. Lie still, no food." The elder continued. "Well, Tao, we kidnapped you, and you didn't even move your ear. Ha ha ha." Tao cried out loud. "I want to eat," came from the bag. The younger brother immediately became angry. "Well, shut up now. I am not going to listen to your cries here, or I will not hold myself back. I am ready to beat you." He shouted and raised his fist. But the elder brother immediately stopped him. "Stop, stop, stop. Do not touch. It must be delivered to the trainer safe and sound. Listen, you, royalty," the younger brother continued. "Say goodbye to your palace with armfuls of bamboo and the love of the princess. Welcome to a new life, rich and bright for us and poor and difficult for you. Ha ha ha." The elder cheered. Tao quieted down. She realized that she had fallen into a trap, and it was better for her to remain silent and not to make the brothers angry. Chapter 13. Mishutka follows in the footsteps of the kidnappers. Mishutka came to his house, took a basket, put a small barrel of honey and 2 jars of raspberries and blueberries in it, quickly climbed over the fence and ended up in Tao's enclosure. "Hey, Tao! Hello! Where are you? Do you want to play hide and seek? Where are you?" He looked into all the rooms, but Tao was nowhere to be found. Suddenly, on the floor, he saw a piece of linen rope, picked it up and examined it. "They tie bags of hay with such ropes. Tao!" Mishutka looked around again. Neither Tao nor her guards were anywhere to be seen. Suddenly he remembered that on the way home he saw strange people who were carrying a huge bag. "Everything is clear. Stolen. She was stolen. Tao was in that bag. I should follow them. They couldn't have gone far. Tao, hold on. I'm coming to help you." And Mishutka rushed after the kidnappers. He knew the forest well. In the afternoon, when there were no visitors, he went out for a walk to pick blueberries and raspberries. He knew all the smells of the forest well. Mishutka moved his nose, sniffed the air, caught a new unfamiliar smell. It smelled like the Lee brothers who guarded Tao, he remembered. Exactly. It was the scent of the Lee brothers' footprints. Taking the trail, Mishutka followed in the footsteps of the kidnappers. The brothers, by that time, were able to go far. But Mishutka tried his best. He could already hear the sound of broken branches and trees cracking ahead. They were there. "I hope nothing happened to Tao." And then, finally, the crackling of the branches stopped. It seems that these robbers have arranged a camp for themselves. Mishutka found their place of rest, quietly approached, and began to watch the brothers. He even managed to hear what they were talking about. "We've been wandering in this cold for 3 hours now. Let's make a fire. Look, it's snowing." "Okay, let's make a fire. Let's warm up a bit and continue our way." "Throw this stupid bag with Panda under the tree. Now she will not go anywhere from us. Come closer to the fire. Let's look at the map again." The brothers warmed up a little. They got sleepy because of the heat. Their eyes began to close and they slowly began to fall asleep. Mishutka, who had heard the whole conversation, waited a little, and when the brothers began to snore, he quietly crept up to the tree, under which the sack with Panda was lying. He carefully took the bag and pulled it aside. Panda Tao began to twitch and sob. Mishutka whispered, "Quiet! Don't cry! It's me, Mishutka the Brown. Now I'll save you. Be patient a little. Don't wake them up." Tao recognized his voice and calmed down. Pulling the bag away, Mishutka untied the rope. Seeing Tao safe and sound, he sighed with relief. "I already thought that this was the end, and that we would never meet again. Thank you, Mishutka. You are a true friend. Let's get out of here quickly. Look, it's snowing. We need to hurry." "Which way to go?" Mishutka waved his paw. "There." Then, having doubts a little, he looked around. "Yes, I think we should go there. It's dark anyway. Let's go out somewhere. The main thing is to get away from this place until the Lee brothers wake up and discover the loss. Let's run. Chapter 14. The Disappearance of Tao. Morning has come. The Lee brothers woke up, got up and stretched. Wow, yesterday we were so tired dragging this heavy bag through the forest that we instantly fell asleep. Look, the fire has almost gone out. It has been covered with snow. I'm surprised we didn't freeze here. It is a good thing that we have finally got some sleep. Brother, bring me the bag here. It's time to go. I think that we are already very close to our goal. Under what tree did I leave the sack yesterday? Not here, and not under this tree. There is no bag here. What did you say? Are you deaf? No bag, no panda. She has run away. We need to find her quickly. She couldn't have gone far. Look, there are some more footprints in the snow. Looks like Panda has been taken out from under our noses. Someone helped her. It's you, fool, who wanted to make a camp and sleep. Can you imagine what happens next? We have lost everything. We wanted to sell Panda and get money for it. And now there is no Panda, no money. And we will lose our heads if everyone finds out about our plan. It's all your fault. Why did you listen to me? You are the oldest of us, and I am the younger brother. The younger must listen to the older, and not vice versa. Older or younger, it does not matter. Stop whining. Let's go to the north. Look, there are fewer branches on the trees on the other side, so the north is there. The footprints of Panda and her supporter go in that direction. Let's go. We have no way back. We should find her. And the brothers moved in the intended direction. Chapter 15. The Snowstorm. The snow began to fall harder and a strong wind blew. Panda and Mishutka had been walking for several hours. They shivered and chatted their teeth from cold. How dare they kidnap me? Do they even understand what they are going to do now? Tao was indignant. Mishutka, you are so brave. Thank you for saving me, not leaving me in trouble. How could I leave you? Friends should always help each other. Look, Tao, I think we've been here before. Look, the path. There are some footprints. Mishutka sighed sadly. Oh no, Tao. These are our footprints. Forgive me. I am not going the right way. It seems to me that now we are not approaching, but on the contrary, we are moving away from home. How painful it is for me to listen to all this, said Mishutka, taking Tao by the paw. You need to move forward faster. You need to be brave and courageous. Look, even more snow is falling. I cannot move, and it is very frightening. I seem to have lost my way. I don't understand where the south is. Where is the north? Which direction should we go? What a cold wind. There is no way to get to the zoo. The forest has changed a lot during the night. The snowstorm has covered our paths, Tao. I'm sorry, we are lost. The bear and Panda walked, stumbling because of the tree roots, sometimes falling into the snow. They decided to walk without rest through the snow-covered forest. Strength has already begun to leave them. Tao stumbled and fell waist deep into a snow-covered pit. Mishutka pulled her out. Panda barely walked a few more meters, stopped and leaned against a tree. Legs ceased to obey her, and Tao slowly slid to the ground. If only my beloved princess knew what was happening to me, Mishutka, I'm not angry at you. It's all the Lee brothers' fault. They hated me for a long time, and now they want to get rid of me. If they weren't so insidious, you and I would now be sitting in a warm place and eating bamboo. And not only bamboo, I have brought different delicious food from home, and jam and honey. Apparently today we will have no dinner. How much longer we will be able to wander in this forest? It is very difficult to walk in the snow. Give me your paw and cover your eyes from the snow with the other. It seems that a strong snowstorm is starting. Panda Tao looked at the trees. They were already covered with snow. We will not reach the zoo. We will be lost. I am cold, and I really want to eat. I want to go to the palace, to my princess. Mishutka, you go. You will find the way home, but I can't go anymore. I'll stay here. I won't leave you alone in these woods. We'll have a rest now, and we'll go on looking for the way home. Mishutka sat down next to a tree. He tried his best to look strong and confident. He hugged Panda. The red silk bow that the Chinese princess gave to her had turned into a tattered piece. A gust of wind tore it off her neck, and it disappeared in a whirlwind of snow. Tao laid her head on Mishutka's shoulder. Mishutka hugged her, trying to warm her, and she began to fall asleep. The snowstorm covered everything around with snowflakes. Friends did not yet know that under the snowdrift where they were sitting there was a huge lair. It belonged to the polar bear Micha the Northern. Chapter 16. Visiting Micha the Northern. Micha's lair was amusing but a little strange. Let's take a look and see what is going on there. A semicircular cave. Dried fish, mushrooms, and berries are hanging on the walls. Here and there are pucks and hockey sticks signed by hockey players. Hockey team flags are hanging on the walls. There are some whistles, pipes, ratchet noisemakers everywhere. Among all these, there are several musical instruments. This is a guitar, and this is a huge shaman tambourine with a mallet. On numerous shelves and bedside tables made of dry branches and stumps, there are framed photographs. One of the photographs has a polar bear. The other has several small polar bear cubs, and with them 2 adult bears on the sides. It looks like a family photo. There is a bear visiting Santa Claus. Here is the bear on skates with a hockey stick playing hockey. In the corner of the lair there is a barrel. Lingonberries or cranberries are floating in it. Next to it there is a bottle with a dark liquid. It looks like a berry syrup. Between the bottle and the barrel there are huge hockey skates. In the middle of the lair there is a white pine sofa. Someone is sitting on it. Oh, there is the owner. Let's get acquainted. His name is Micha the Northern. He is from a noble family of polar bears. The sofa on which Micha is sitting is covered with a blanket of Lapland moss. Opposite the sofa, on the bench, there is a large TV. A hockey match is shown on it. Get the puck, get the puck. Spartak is a champion. Spartak is a champion, yelling from the TV. Micha is an avid fan. He watches the game with interest. Today, Karhu is playing with Spartak, Michin's favorite team. Suddenly, among the sounds that were heard from the TV, Micha heard some other strange sounds, unusual, so plaintive. Micha turned off the sound of the TV. listened carefully, but the sounds disappeared. Ah, I see. This is a snowstorm howling, or neighbor's wolves howling with a snowstorm. Now it's clear. Ah, it's good I have my own warm lair. And Micha turned on the TV at full volume. End of the first period, said the commentator. You will see the news during the break. Well, let's see the news, said Micha. He took a bunch of dried fish from the wall and broke off one. I'll have a snack in a calm environment. I'm so nervous because of these hockey games. Yes, and at the same time, let's listen to what is happening in the world. A reporter appeared on TV, reporting from the Achtere Zoo. Yeah, said Micha. Yesterday a beautiful panda came to the zoo from a distant country. Come on, what's new with her? Dear viewers, we are broadcasting emergency news, the reporter said in an excited voice. It became known that a shocking event took place tonight. It cannot leave anyone indifferent, especially the inhabitants of our country as well as the inhabitants of China. Panda Tao, the Chinese princess's favorite pet, who came to us as a goodwill ambassador, as a sign of friendship and peace between our countries, was kidnapped. Nothing is known about the panda's whereabouts. Together with the panda, her two guards also disappeared. Together with the panda and her guards, Mishutka Brown, who lived in a neighboring enclosure next to the panda, has also disappeared. It seems to be an international scandal, said Micha, and took another dry fish from the bundle. The announcer continued. We have just been informed that the Chinese princess has already flown to our country to provide maximum assistance in the search for her favorite panda. Dear viewers, if you have seen Tao, please let us know. Any information is important. Wow, Micha said. It seems that the snowstorm is over. I'll go out and eat fish in the fresh air before the second period begins. Micha took a dried fish from the table, went to the exit, and heard quiet sobs again. Somewhere very close, it seems to him that someone was crying. No, it's not an illusion. Indeed, someone is crying. Micha got out of the lair, walked around it from all sides, and suddenly saw two frightened bears nearby under a tree. Panda Tao and Mishutka, realizing that a real polar bear seemed to be in front of them, simultaneously cried out, "Oh!" Panda covered her eyes with her hands, and Mishutka, fearlessly but in a weakened and trembling voice, asked the huge Micha, "Who are you? Are we already dead? Or are we dreaming? Or are you real? Oh, yes, guests have come to me. What a joy! Wow, I have guests at home." Micha started dancing, waving the dried fish he was about to eat. Stomping, he waved his paws in greeting. The dry, silvery fish in his paws looked like a saber. It seemed like a kind of saber dance. I'm real, Micha, in a loud voice, pounding his chest with his paw, repeated several times that he was real. I live here, this is my lair, and I am from Svalbard, from the northern land. My relatives, polar bears, work nearby at the zoo as polar bears, and here I am, in my lair, spending my winter vacation. The bear and the panda, not believing their eyes and ears, hugged each other even tighter. You don't believe me? Micha asked. Yes, touch me, I'm real. Throwing the fish into the snowdrift, he extended both paws to the panda and the bear. Tao burst into tears from fear and horror. Micha began to dig up travelers with his huge paws, and like a snowplow, tossed the snow in different directions. Panda Tao rolled her eyes and was about to faint. Micha realized that probably this would not work. He needed to change his behavior. He quickly remembered and said a few words in Chinese. Ni hao, ni hao, ni hao. Panda Tao, having heard that someone greeted her in her native language, opened her big eyes with long eyelashes in surprise, clapped them, but she could not say anything in response. She was speechless. Oh, Micha exclaimed, realizing that something was wrong with his Chinese pronunciation. He, turning to Mishutka, greeted him at the top of his voice in the language of the local population. Terve, terve, terve. Terve hyvät ystävät teille. Terve hyvät ystävät teille. Terve, terve, terve. Micha had a very strong, trained voice. No wonder he watched all the hockey matches, and each time he shouted very loudly, Bark, bark. Panda and Mishutka were simply terribly scared, and the two of them burst into tears. From the fact that Micha sang at the top of his voice and waved his paws, expressing joy and hospitality to dear guests. After several unsuccessful attempts to cheer up the guests, Micha calmed down. He gently gave his paw to the panda and quietly said, Sorry, sorry, I will no longer swirl my paws. I did not mean to scare you. Please, follow me, please. Panda Tao thought for a moment, then, feeling the warmth and the power that came from the huge paw, no longer able to resist, got up and followed Micha. Mishutka, seeing how Tao agreed to follow Micha, put his paw into another paw of Micha the Northern. So the three bears found themselves in a warm and cozy lair. The owner seated his guests in the most comfortable places and continued in a gentle voice. Welcome, my dear friends, to my spacious lair. I see that you are tired. Perhaps your feet are cold. I'll pour you a cranberry drink. I will dance and sing to you. I'll treat you with dried fish. I'll turn the music up loud for you. Don't cry, don't cry. I'll wipe your tears away. I want to warm and feed you. After wiping Tao and Mishutka's tears, Micha ran around the lair fussing. He wanted to do everything possible to make his unexpected guests feel at home. I'll set the table now, and you warm yourself for now. How did you get here? Mishutka, having warmed up a little, eagerly began to tell what happened to them. I live and work at the Actory Zoo, and Panda Tao, the favorite pet of the Chinese princess and all the children, has recently arrived from China. A special residence was built for her in our zoo. She is a goodwill ambassador, and the night before she was kidnapped by her own guards, the Lee brothers. I happened to witness this terrible event. I managed to follow in the footsteps of the kidnappers and went unnoticed all the way. I followed them to their camp, and when the brothers were asleep, I managed to free Tao from the bag. I was going to return to the Actory Zoo with Tao, but we got lost. Tao nodded and cried. It's so scary when you don't know where to go, Mishutka continued. All this time we didn't eat and didn't sleep. It was very cold and scary, and he also began to cry softly. Micha sighed sympathetically, removed 2 knitted hockey fan scarves from the wall, and carefully wrapped Mishutka and Tao in them. Here, eat. Fish here is delicious. I myself eat fish, and I have this in store for guests, for every taste. And Micha laid out a lot of food on the table. Here are berries, here are chips from reindeer moss, and mushrooms, roots and cloudberries. Mishutka breathed a sigh of relief. Let's eat berries, I love them. And Tao, what will Tao eat? She only eats bamboo. I don't eat it myself, I only tried it once, but I saw how the zookeepers brought a huge car of bamboo for Panda. Let me tell you, this is a truly delicious dish. Micha frowned. Yes, I saw a report in the news about China and about the life of pandas. Who would have known? Who would have known? But where can I find bamboo for you here, in the polar tundra? Usually he knew what to do in this or that case. Still, he was born and raised in the difficult conditions of the far north, and more than once he had to look for a way out of difficult situations. He learned to find solutions and could handle any challenge. But this has never happened to Micha. He never dealt with bamboo. There was silence for a while. Suddenly, Panda Tao opened her eyes wide and whispered, "Then I will starve to death and never see my beloved princess again." Tears rolled down her cheeks. Looking at all this, Micha the Northern got nervous, but finally he said, "That's it. I'll go and look for food for Tao. I, by all means, must get these bamboo branches. Wait for me here." With these words, for some reason he removed the guitar from the wall, grabbed a tambourine with mallet, and ran out of the lair. Thoughts were confused in his head. Tao, bamboo, blizzard, Mishutka, Pak, bamboo. Left alone with himself, Micha, in order to calm down a little and understand what to do next, picked up a guitar and began to play. Always in a difficult situation, he took the guitar, plucking the strings, played the instrument and thought. That was how peace and order usually came to his head. But if this did not happen, a tambourine was used. Yes, a real shaman tambourine. Micha once saw Lapland shamans playing tambourine and making rain or wind. They say that the sounds of a tambourine open a heavenly book, and everything is written in it. It contains answers to any questions. Tao, bamboo, Spartak the champion, snowstorm, Mishutka continued spinning in his head. How brave they are, lovely, friendly, although completely different in appearance and apparently in character. Mishutka is such a brave, true friend. He did not leave his fellow traveler to freeze in the middle of the forest. And Panda Tao, this is a beauty. This is just the standard of beauty. What a defenseless, fragile, graceful woman she is. And the eyes, these eyes, I had time to examine them when I wiped her tears. It seems I, at the moment, something pinched and fluttered in Micha's chest. It was a heart overflowing with love, the huge heart of tough Micha the Northern. And he sang, "No, this is not a dream. I'm in love with her. She is so tender, the panda is snow white. She has black eyes, long eyelashes, and a tear in her eyes, black gloves, black stockings, black ears, black glasses. She needs bamboo. Reindeer moss will not suit her. She needs bamboo. She has her own diet. She needs bamboo, natural from Tibet. It does not grow in tundra, neither in winter nor even in summer. Bamboo. Where will I find it? It does not grow in tundra. It drives me crazy. Tao, I must save her. Micha's word must be kept." I am ready to go 1,000 miles to bring bamboo to my beloved. And then my beauty will love me with all her heart. To the very end of the world she will follow me. Our love will be our destiny. Bam bam bamboo. Where will I find it? It does not grow in tundra. It will drive me crazy. I still can't find it. Micha beat the tambourine, stamped his feet, straining his thoughts about the search of bamboo with all his might. The sounds of the tambourine began to converge the animals that lived in the neighborhood. The clouds dispersed in the sky became clear. The snow crunched in the forest under Micha's powerful paws. The northern lights sparkled. It flashed and sparkled to the music of Micha. Local animals often enjoyed the magical performance of light and music. The hares dragged their little drums. The wolves howled to Micha. From the lair came the sounds of the TV. And suddenly, what a miracle! An idea came to Micha. Ah, I think I have figured it out. I'm going to the flower shop. There is a flower shop nearby. It is being held by Sirka, a beautiful, kind woman. Maybe she can tell me something about bamboo. Chapter 17. The Flower Shop. Micha went through the forest to the village, where the flower shop was located. My respect, mistress. Sirka was delighted to see Micha. Hello, hello, Micha. Hello, my dear. Why did you come to me? I haven't seen you for a long time. And I can guess why you have come. You, for sure, have fallen in love with another Lapland beauty. And you are going to win her heart. And you want to present her with a gorgeous bouquet of flowers. Let's go inside. I'll treat you with hot glögi, and in the meantime, I'll make you a bouquet of the freshest and the most luxurious flowers. How do you know it, Sirka? You won't believe it. This time I really have fallen in love. I would love to come in, but you see, it's not camomiles or roses that I need this time. What is it? Sirka asked in surprise. I need bamboo. This is the matter of life and death. A lot of bamboo is needed. A bunch of bamboo. This is for my beloved. Well, my dear, bamboo is not a flower, but just green branches. Better take beautiful dahlias, or incredible mimosas, sweet irises, delicate orchids, or modest daisies. Daisies? She does not eat dahlias and camomiles, I'm telling you. Sirka sat down on a stump in surprise. How? You, I know, have had different girlfriends with different whims, but to eat a bouquet of flowers? You fell in love with a cow? No, not with a cow, said Micha. My beloved is a little, how to say, she not from here. She is from China. She is a Chinese panda. Her name is Tao. She eats only bamboo. She doesn't even eat fish. Can you imagine? I don't know where I can find this bamboo. What should I do? Micha put his head in his hands and sighed heavily. Don't be so upset. I'll give you bamboo. I have it. I put it in flower bouquets. It looks very good in them. And where did you get it from? Micha asked. Nowadays, you can order anything on the internet, but I think I'll try to plant it in my flower greenhouse. I will create all the conditions for it. I will take care of it according to all the rules. Maybe it can grow here in Lapland. Wait, I'll run to the warehouse. I'll bring you bamboo. I thought you would stay unmarried, said Sirka, returning with a huge armful of green branches. Here, take it. This is a gift for you. I am so happy for you. The owner of the flower shop handed bamboo to Micha's paws. I have told you many times that it's time to settle down, start a family. It's enough for you to be without a wife. Will you make a proposal to her? Sirka was very worried about Micha. He was like a son to her. She knew him as a little bear cub when she herself worked as a cashier at the zoo, and Micha's parents worked in the same place as polar bears. Thank you, dear Sirka. I should run now. Hey, wait, Sirka exclaimed. Here, put on my vest. It is black. It looks very impressive on your white fur. Now you are a real groom. You even look a little like a panda. Micha glanced at the mirror that was hanging at the entrance of the flower shop. Well, yes, it looks like it. That's it. I should run now. Thank you for everything. Sirka didn't want to let Micha go. Have you prepared the words that you will say to your beloved? No, I didn't. Well, I'll tell her something like marry me. Oh, it is not romantic. Sit down and write down. My dear Tao, I tremble. I want to see you every minute, to follow you everywhere, to look into your eyes, to listen to you for a long time, to understand your soul, to freeze before you in agony, turn pale and become sad. This is bliss. Then you get down on one knee and give her an armful of bamboo. Got it? Repeat. My dear Tao, I tremble, and I won't let you go back to China. Well, you are silly. You do not understand anything. Tell her pleasant things, pleasant. Come up with something good, since you can't even repeat after me. Micha thought a little and said, My dear Tao, I tremble. I'm going to the doctor because of heart disease, and I will repeat to you, Tao, again and again, that you are my cherished love. Okay, at least this way. Go now, otherwise your bride will completely lose her weight. Old Niels covered his granddaughter Anna's legs with deer hide, put dry branches in the fire, and continued to tell the story. Chapter 18. The Proposal. A couple of lost travelers were sitting at the table in Micha's lair. Warmed by the fireplace, they finally stopped shaking and crying incessantly. Panda Tao, who had completely lost hope of eating, was already looking at cloudberries, which Mishutka was eating with pleasure. Mishutka chewed and mumbled, You should eat at least some berries. Well, or eat a mushroom. Well, at least you need to chew something. Otherwise, you haven't eaten anything for the whole day, and you have already lost weight. Bamboo has never been found in this part of the world, and never will be. So you have to eat cranberries or cloudberries. Please, oh please, soon we will be able to return home to Achtery. There is a whole warehouse of bamboo branches stocked up for you. Micha will be back soon, and we will consider our next step. Before Mishutka had time to say this, the door swung open and Micha tumbled into the lair. I have found it, here it is, the precious bamboo, he said in a joyful voice. Eat, dear guest, eat for your health. Micha laid out the branches on the table in front of Panda. I promised that I would find food for you. I kept my promise. Panda Tao smiled for the first time and began to crunch the twigs. A huge armful disappeared from the table in 5 minutes. Thank you, Micha, she said. I'm not hungry now. you are a real friend. Now I have two friends, Mishutka and you." She stretched sweetly, yawned, and flapped her beautiful long eyelashes. "Now it would be good to sleep," she said, looking around. "Do you have a bedroom for distinguished guests? Where is it?" Micha was happy that he was able to feed the overseas beauty, became embarrassed and smiled. "Tao, Mishutka, I wanted to say something, or rather, I need to say something to Tao." Micha suddenly remembered that a long time ago, at the New Year's holiday, when he was still very young, he wanted to tell a rhyme. But he was so excited that he forgot all the words. Now the huge polar bear, like a child, babbled something, unable to remember the prepared speech. Finally, he concentrated and began. "My dear Panda Tao," gathering his thought together, he began. "I tremble. I want to say one thing to you, very important." Here Tao interrupted Micha. "It's good that you have finally fed me. Let me now have some time to sleep. Turn off your TV. I need silence." "Yes, yes, of course. I will now make you a soft couch and organize complete silence for you. Did you have something important to say to me?" "Yes, but nothing important," Micha whispered. Mishutka said in a cheerful voice that he was not used to sleeping during the day, and that he will try cranberries with honey, and then he will quietly sit in the corner and look through Micha's photo album. "I am very grateful to you, dear Micha, but I have one more request for you. Can you think of a way for Mishutka and me to get back to Achteri?" Tao asked. "I am afraid that my beautiful Princess Yunxing has already found about my disappearance, and she is worried. I can't stay in your area for a long time. Thank you for the bamboo and for the hospitality. You saved our lives. I'm going to sleep now. I need a nap. And then we definitely need to return home as soon as possible." "Yes, yes, of course. I will think about how to help you and Mishutka to return home to Achteri. Here, a couch made of moss. Rest now. I don't know yet how you can get back to the zoo, but I know the local shaman Niels. He knows everything. I think he will be able to help you. He will give you an advice on how to find the way. And you, well, someday maybe you could come back to our land." "I will definitely be back," Tao replied. "Someday, but first I need to sort things out. Take Mishutka and me please to the shaman. I hope he will help and show us the way home." The panda yawned sweetly and fell asleep. In her paw she was holding a small bouquet of bamboo branches. Micha took the guitar off the wall and left the lair. Drin, brin, drin, brin. Micha played a few chords on the guitar. "Certainly, I understand. She has lived all her life in the palace. She had servants and bodyguards. She is a worldwide celebrity. What can I offer her? Move here to live on an ice floe?" He was indignant. "There are no palaces or bamboo here, unless sometimes a helicopter brings oil workers to work. This event is the only entertainment in our frozen land. It's not for her, and I have already thought that maybe she— Oh, I'm such a fool. Okay, how could I even think of such a thing?" Plucking the strings of his guitar, Micha calmed down and began to get ready for the road. Chapter 19. A Reindeer Meets the Chinese Princess. "Grandpa, what happened next?" Anna asked. Niels was a shaman. He knew what was, what is, and what will be. While Panda Tao was sleeping sweetly in Micha the Northern's lair, the Chinese princess was already walking through the snowy forest. After learning from the news what happened, Yun Xing immediately set off on a long journey in search of Tao. On the way, she kept repeating, "I will definitely find you. I won't leave you in trouble." The princess painted a picture of a happy meeting with her dear friend in her mind. She could not know where Tao was, but she followed the call of her heart. Yun Xing was not afraid of difficulties and knew how to deal with tiredness, warming up the exercises that she was taught in the martial arts school. Having walked a considerable distance, the princess ended up in Lapland. Yun Xing has almost reached the edge of the forest, but when she saw that there was someone in it, she hid and began to examine carefully. Between the trees and bushes, something was clearly visible. Yes, it's a deer. A young reindeer. He was very nice, white with small branched horns. He seemed to be humming something and seemed to be dancing some kind of a funny dance. A hoof to the left 2 times, a hoof to the right 1 time, and once again. He galloped around the meadow and came to the middle again. The princess laughed softly and decided not to embarrass the young deer and let him finish his dance. Suddenly, she saw 2 more shadows watching the deer from behind the bushes. "These are the wolves." The princess realized that the wolves were hiding and were waiting for the right moment to attack the amused deer, who didn't expect anything bad. In a moment she decided by all means to prevent trouble and save the poor animal. Yun Xing has been engaged in martial arts since childhood. She knew a lot of fighting techniques. She understood well that the strength of the deer against the 2 wolves was unequal, and everything could end badly for the horned one. And it has never occurred to the young deer that someone was watching him and even wanted to have him for dinner. Making another pirouette with his hoof, the young deer was very close to the bushes, behind which the wolves were waiting for him. It was impossible to delay. The princess jumped out of her hiding place, stood up in a fighting position, ran up, jumped up, and already in the jump she saw how 2 wolves sitting in a bush from both sides jumped out of the bush and rushed to the deer. Yun Xing turned her body in the air, instantly assessed the situation, landing next to the deer. With a strong movement of her hand, she was able to push him so that he flew off to the side. The princess made a few more movements, and she and the deer were in the safe place. 2 wolves, rushing from different directions to the deer, were about to cling to its sides, but flew into each other with all their might. The open toothy mouths snapped loudly and shut. The wolves sat in the meadow for some time, clinging their teeth into each other, thinking that they had prey in their teeth. When they realized that something had gone wrong, the grey robbers unhooked from each other and howled. "Ooh!" spread all over the forest. They howled in pain, rubbing their beaten sides. Sparks and tears were running from their yellow eyes. They were no longer interested in the deer. How could this happen? Was there really a deer? Where did the girl come from? or did they imagine it because of hunger? The princess, putting her finger to her lips, signaled to the deer not to utter a single word. Shh! She carefully placed her hand on his back and whispered, "Let's get out of here quickly, before the wolves start chasing us." Having run to a safe distance, the deer and the princess started talking. "How can I thank you, my good savior?" the deer asked. "I was rehearsing a performance, a dance and a song for our forest holiday. If you did not save me, the inhabitants of our forest would not see how I can dance, and all that would be left of me are horns and legs." The princess answered modestly, "Well, you are weak and small, and everyone who is weaker must be protected. This is my law. But this time I myself need help. A trouble has happened to me. I have lost the most precious thing in my life, my beloved friend, the beautiful panda Tao. Something terrible has happened to her. She got lost. Deep in my heart I feel that she is alive, but I don't know how to find her." "Yes, that's the task." The deer scratched behind his ear with his hoof and continued, "I don't know who you are talking about, but I know the shaman Niels. He knows everything, what was, what is, and what will be. He is the wisest man in our forest. I think he can help us. Let me take you to him." "Fine, my dear lover of life. Take me to him, please. I will be very grateful to you." Chapter 20. The Battle on the Mountain. Niels was a shaman. He knew what was, what is, and what will be. "Grandfather, it was the deer who brought the Chinese princess to you then, wasn't it?" the granddaughter asked Niels. "Yes, granddaughter. It was she, the girl who was looking for her best friend, Panda Tao." "And what happened next?" asked the granddaughter. "I had just lit a fire on the mountainside. I did this every evening. Local animals often came to it to warm up and listen to my song. I beat the tambourine and hummed. Sometimes we stayed up until late at night, and then the northern lights appeared in the sky. Multicolored flashes appeared here and there, merged into one huge canvas, and then scattered across the sky again. Billions of stars twinkled above us. The flames from the fire and the northern lights danced with each other in an amazing dance, a dance of lights. A brave Chinese girl told me about her sorrow and warmed herself up near the fire. I showed her the direction where to go to find the panda. The princess thanked me and was ready to set off, when we suddenly saw someone's silhouettes appear from the forest. They were approaching our meadow, and finally we saw that they were 3 bears, a polar bear, a brown bear, and Panda. She's a bear too. It was Micha who brought his unexpected and lost guests to my mountain for advice. And just at the same time, the Chinese princess who was looking for her panda was warming herself by the fire. This is where the friends met. Their joy was so great. Panda Tao hugged the princess with her furry paws and cried with happiness. The animals clapped their hands and loudly congratulated their newly met friends. Suddenly, among the noise and fun, shouts were heard. "Here she is! Grab the runaway!" The animals who observed the meeting were frightened by the screams and rushed into the bushes. "Here she is! Got you! Finally! We have found you!" The Lee brothers ran out of the meadow. After a long search, they were still able to find the place where the panda was. From childhood, the brothers were taught various tricks and wisdom. This time, the knowledge of searching in the forest came in handy. In the darkness, the brothers were able to immediately notice a white fluffy panda. They went crazy with joy and anger at the same time. Their goal of finding the panda at any cost has been achieved. Because of rage and glee, anticipating that they would now again grab Tao, their desired prey, and disappear with her, the Lee brothers did not notice the princess standing next to them. The princess was wearing dark clothes, and in the darkness she merged with the other shadows. The brothers roughly pushed the animals aside. The older brother held the open bag with both hands, and the younger brother angrily shouted, "Got you!" He grabbed Tao by the paws, and they both began to put her into the bag. "Oh, you're a harmful, nasty girl! Well, quickly get into the bag. The trainer has been waiting for you for a long time in his circus van. We'll finally get rid of you." "Stop! Everyone, stop!" The princess appeared in front of the brothers. "So that's what happened. Now it's clear that you have greedy little souls. You betrayed me. You wanted to steal and sell our pride, our national property. You wanted to disgrace the emperor himself and the entire Chinese people in front of the whole world. You will be punished. I challenge you to a fight." And the princess took a fighting position. The elder brother chuckled and said, "You are alone against the two of us. Ha ha ha. Well, let's give it a try. We have hated you since childhood, and that nasty panda Tao even more. But now is the perfect time to deal with you. Now finally we will finish you off." The younger brother echoed in a nasty voice, and both brothers took a fighting position. The elder brother continued, "Now we will sort it out with both of you. We must first get rid of you, your highness, and then we will place your girlfriend in the skillful hands of a famous trainer. Ha ha ha." "Ooh!" Someone else's voices were heard. Two angry and hungry wolves appeared in the meadow. They were still rubbing their beaten sides. "Yeah, it looks like a huge battle is about to begin. We have arrived just in time. So this is the same girl who ruined our plans." The wolves were very happy when they saw the princess. "Now you won't fool us," they said, and baring their teeth, moved towards the princess. "She took the deer from us and left us without dinner. Ah, and here you are, our horned, delicious one." Both wolves glared at the deer and licked their lips. Panda Tao, realizing that everyone was about to be kidnapped, beaten, and eaten, began to sob and cry, "Everything is lost, we are all dead," and almost fainted. "Just let them try." Micha the Northern stood in front of the wolves. "Come on, let's see who wins." Mishutka stood next to Micha and boldly said, "I've never hit anyone, and I didn't intend to, but now my friends are in danger, so you are in trouble." And he frowned at the brothers. "And I can kick these thieves with my horns." The young deer threateningly shook his antlers from side to side and stood next to Mishutka. "And so do we." All the forest animals came out of their hiding places and stood next to the princess and her friends. "I can handle them myself, thank you, friends." The wolves, seeing the fearless group led by the princess, hesitated a little, but the hunger was strong, and they, baring their teeth, began to circle around the deer, pushing him away from the general group. The princess prepared to protect the deer again. The older brother said that they had nothing to lose, and he was going to fight tooth and nail. He shouted out a battle call, put out his palm towards the princess. Both brothers simultaneously attacked the princess, and the unequal battle began. Micha the Northern waved both paws towards the wolves and the brothers. At the same time, pushing back the attackers, he did not lose sight of anyone, keeping an eye on Panda, the deer, Mishutka, and the princess. The mountain has turned into a battlefield. The deer ran away and tried with all his might to horn one of the brothers. Mishutka pushed away the enemy with the whole body as soon as one of the villains approached the princess. Micha was able to grab both wolves by the scruff of the neck, tearing them both off the ground. He shook them in the air and threw them away. "Hey, hey, it's so unfair. There are so many of you, and there are only 2 of us," the wolves howled from the bushes offendedly. Having received nothing, with bruised sides, they decided that today was not their day and disappeared from sight. Panda Tao, who was watching everything from behind the bushes, seeing that both guards attacked the princess and that it was becoming more and more difficult for her to fight them off, threw herself with all her weight at the feet, grabbed the older brother's leg, and hung on it like a kettlebell. The elder brother did not expect such an attack. He tried to shake Panda off his leg, but Tao understood that if she let go of his leg, the fighter would continue to fight with the princess. Mishutka, without thinking twice, followed the example of Panda and also threw himself at the feet of the younger brother. He had a death grip on his leg, and the brother could no longer fight against the princess. Micha the Northern grabbed both brothers, lifted them off the ground, and with his usual movement shook them by the collar. The Lee brothers realized that they had lost the battle and shouted, "Oh, oh, how painful it is! Get off my leg! You are going to tear it off!" The older brother howled, trying to free his leg from the panda's clutches. "And from mine, unhook that brown bear," the younger brother squealed. "Well, will you attack again?" Micha held both brothers by the collar and did not let their feet touch the ground. "Let us go, let us go. We won't do it again," the Lee brothers begged. "We will change for the better. We have realized that we had done evil. Let them go. They understood everything," the princess said to Micha. "Now you are no longer soldiers of the royal army. I, the Chinese princess, here and now deprive you both of this honorary title." The princess took off the long belt, wrapped it around both brothers several times, and tied a strong knot. "Tomorrow you will be sent back to China, and there the emperor will decide what to do with you." At that moment, Sirka, a flower seller, appeared on the mountain. "Oh, what is going on here? A holiday? A wedding? Everyone have gathered around the fire, but I wasn't invited. Does it look like a wedding?" We have a battle going on here, a group fight. The deer scoffed. Yes, we are dealing with the thieves here. We are deciding, Micha clarified. What should we do with them now? They committed the most terrible crime. They were planning to steal Panda, a national treasure, and most importantly, a goodwill ambassador. And they have almost succeeded in this deal. But we discovered and neutralized the enemy in time, added Mishutka. I wonder what your father, the emperor, will do with these envious deceivers who sold their honor for money. We will be executed, we will be executed. The brothers began to cry at the top of their voices. Forgive us, don't send us to China. We are ready to atone for our guilt. Yes, that's exactly right, the princess said. If we return them to China, execution awaits them there, because they did the worst thing. They betrayed the entire people and their trust. You can't leave them here either. Who needs them here? They will die of hunger and freeze to death in the forest. Ah, we will die of hunger and cold in the forest. Please, don't leave us. We will never deceive anyone again. We will never make money dishonestly again. We will find a job and work hard. Don't send us to China. The flower seller Sirka shook her head and turned to the princess. Have mercy on them, dear Yun-Sing. I think they sincerely regret now and will never do evil again. If you decide that the Li brothers will stay with us in Lapland, then I will help to find work for them. I will hire such smart guys to work for me. I have a large greenhouse with flowers. I need help. Panda Tao narrowed her eye slyly and also asked a question. By any chance, are you planning to grow bamboo in your greenhouse, dear Sirka? Sirka was embarrassed. Well, I don't know if it will work, but I've already planned to sow it. Please, please, take us to work, the brothers prayed. Don't send us to China, dear Sirka. We will help you to grow flowers and bamboo. We won't let you down. We are ready to work for you for at least one bowl of rice for two. Well, sorry. If I hire you, it will only be under a contract and for a full salary. Okay then, let it be so. I'll leave you with Sirka for good manners education, said the princess. No one has the right to take someone else's life. Let's go. Let's ask the old shaman Niels to show us the way back. Thank you, friends, for your help. It's time for us to return home. Chapter 21. The final chapter. Princess Yun-Sing, Tao, and Mishutka said goodbye to everyone who helped them. Micha the Northern received many kind words. Soon a large car arrived for the travelers and took the whole group back to Achtery. The morning at the Achtery Zoo started as usual. The animals woke up. A delicious breakfast and a busy day awaited for them. They met hundreds of visitors, noisy children, and had many photo shoots for nature magazines. From morning till evening, tourists, school groups, and correspondents from different countries were brought to the zoo. The days passed. They were busy, noisy, and fun. Only Panda Tao was sad, sitting in her residence, because she had to part with the princess again. Before flying to China, Yun-Sing went to say goodbye to Tao. It's hard for me to part with you again. You know, when you left our palace, I kept thinking that even if you, my dear Tao, made many new friends, you would still miss your homeland, China. And my father and I decided to let you have a Chinese friend. That's why Panda Teo came specially to you from China on today's plane. He is a good and kind guy. I hope you will become friends with him." Before the princess had time to say this, the door swung open noisily and Panda Tio ran into the room. Panda Tao happily greeted the guest. "Hello, young man. Welcome. Make yourself at home. Would you like to try something?" "Bamboo, hrum hrum?" Tio smiled. "Yes, sure, bamboo, hrum hrum." And all three laughed. Epilogue. That's how this story ends. Old Niels said to Anna, "Well, granddaughter, we have taken a break, warmed ourselves by the fire, and now we should move on. Haven't you forgotten about your homework? After all, tomorrow you should go back to school." Niels and Anna got into the sleigh. "Go," Niels said to the reindeer, and the sleigh set off. The animals were watching in fascination as the cart moved away.